call the order the Stevensville Special Town Council meeting agenda for Tuesday, June 4th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Janelle, would you please take the roll call?
Councilmember Barker? Here. Councilmember Brown? Here. Councilmember Nelson?
Mr. Nelson isn't here. He just called in and he has other commitments.
And Councilmember Smith?
Here.
Mayor Matheson?
Here.
Wait a minute. Yes? 6.
Please call for the
That was
stand
him,
for the
but
pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move to item number 3, public comments and anything not on the agenda tonight. Mr. Kathy.
Hi there. Jim Tadlick, 509 Mission Street. I'd like to talk about the road work that's going on Mission Street. I've talked about it before, but it was my understanding that in front of our house, they were going to dig up the street because of the drainage problem that we've got. Every time we get a hard rain, we have to put sandbags out because the water flows down into the yard and into the basement. And in talking with the crew, they said that they're not going to do that. They're just going to put an 1.5 inch overlay over what's there now. And I don't know, if you remember the original bid, that street was supposed to be torn up, I think.
I thought it was.
Yes.
And then the second bid, that was not included. Remember, we put it back out?
So is there any way, as long as the street is, partially torn up, can we get it done? So we can correct the problem now, rather than have a problem in the future?
I'll talk to Riley about it.
Okay.
Riley Lovers, he's the engineer.
Okay. And then the other thing I'd like to bring up is I know of 2 people that have gotten late notices on the water bills, and they sent them in on the 10th or 11th of May, and they didn't clear their banks until May 31st, and they got a late charge for it. So just wondering if there's, a reason, but you don't know.
I can speak to that real quick. So what is happening is payments that are being done where someone has hooked it up to their bank and the bank is sending out the check, they are going anywhere between 14 and 21 days before the town even receives it.
Okay.
So we
These
check our
people
mail.
mailed the check in.
Well, we do have 2 of them that have been brought to the attention of our deputy clerk who's doing the utility billing piece. And so she's looking into both those pieces. And at this point in time, I do understand that neither of them have even gone through their bank yet. So they didn't even make it to town hall, which is strange. Yeah.
But the others, they cleared their bank on May 31st and they mailed on May 10th. The checks were mailed May 10th or 11th. And
There are some times that we don't get an in-town check for over 2 weeks in our mailbox.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
It's going to, whether it's going to Missoula or from Missoula, it's going
Spokane.
somewhere else, Spokane from there, but they're not, so the bank ones, and then there are many that they send them on the 5th of the month. And we see that they write the check for the 5th, and we literally don't get it to sometimes the 20th or 21st.
Okay, when does the late charge go into effect? Is it after 10 days?
The 25th, if it's not paid by the midnight of the 25th.
25th, okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Thanks, Jim. Any other public comments on anything not on the agenda tonight? Okay, we'll move on to new business. Opening of RFPs for abatement services to clean up property located at 523rd East 3rd Street, Stephenville, Montana. We did not receive a bid,
I did not.
not one. So, we'll move on to item B, discussion decision, awarding of the abatement services. Obviously, we can't award anything, but we can sure discuss and decide what we want to do going forward on this. So what would the council like Janelle and I to start making some calls?
Well, I actually had somebody talk to me this evening about why we can't pay our town employees overtime in public works instead of going out with an RFP. What would be the possibilities of that?
There he is.
I'm not sure we have any equipment, for a lot of it. Some of the junk, we could, for the dump truck and stuff. But we don't really have anything to really mow that big area in the back. Maybe find somebody with brush hog to do that, but, they wouldn't mind working overtime. Possibly we could find a way to do that, but we need probably some stuff. We need better equipment. Maybe even a couple more people, tent or something, I don't know. We need to make a big hit when we go in there, because nobody wants to be in there for very long. So
Right.
we need to kind of get it over when we go and send in a couple people at a time, I don't know.
Because we've had this out for how long now?
Over a normal,
Away.
in the normal 2 weeks. Usually runs about 2 weeks.
And nobody's even came on it.
I was talking with the mayor, the abatement companies that I went ahead and just contacted during this time frame. 2 of them out of Missoula, they really just specialize in water damage, fire damage, meth, remediation and mold remediation. The 2 companies that I spoke with, just that yard cleanup piece of it, or even the hauling off of, let's say, refrigerators or stoves or cars wasn't something that kind of fit into their wheelhouse on the 2 companies that, called me back anyways.
And another problem I have too is I looked at the pictures when we sent our building inspector over there to inspect the structure. And he showed me the pictures there, and it is loaded with toxic chemicals, paint, just all kinds of stuff over there. It's back to that building.
Then we have to dispose when we.
We have to dispose that accordingly. And as Jeff would know, it would be.
Is this something that hazmat has to come in on?
It has had before. Hazmat's had to come, hasn't it, Jeff? Hazmat has had to come in before.
Okay, I have a question for Steve. In pursuing this overtime concept, you say that you don't have, is this something that you know that could be rented?
More than likely, yeah.
Okay,
And I haven't walked it, I don't know everything that's on that place, I don't know what we would do with the stuff. Where are we to get it? I don't know if there's refrigerators and all this, I don't know what's in there. Cars, I guess we could have towed. I mean, I don't know what's on the place, we need to look at it, but yeah, I mean, we can handle it, but it would be overtime and obviously rental fees and more time than a real company would take, with everything else we have.
And looking back at the files, this has happened before, of course, a few times. Sometimes they've got an abatement company, they've cleaned it up well, and the other times, the town has agreed to clean it up. And when the town agrees to clean it up, it gets so far, and then the town gets distracted, of course, doing their regular daytime jobs.
Mhm.
And it goes away, and then it ends up back in disrepair again.
Do we have an idea even of what the cost is going to be, obviously, or
No,
we have no idea on the cost?
Do you feel that we could find any company to take this on?
I would like, with your council's permission, I would like to be able to have Janelle and I pursue and make some calls at least to see if we can't come up with some prices to do this. They're out there. Then we would have.
do you need that in the form of a motion?
Council members.
That's what I was just gonna say, if we have a form of a motion to open it up so the public can comment
Yes.
on this, okay?
Mhm.
I make a motion to discuss abatement services for cleanup property located at 523 East Third Street, Stevensville, Montana.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
I'll second.
We have a motion, we have a second on awarding and cleanup. Discussion by the council. Further discussion. Questions from the public? Matt?
Hi, my name is Pepper Unger. I live at 518 East Third Street, right across the street from the property that's in question. I really think, as far as I've been involved in this process and discussing with the mayor and everything else, it's really out of the public's control and really out of the council's control. And I say, as far as involvement in decisions, over the years, we've formed committees in the past as far as addressing and bringing in ideas. Members, different things, and plus residents. This is a serious issue. It's been trying to be fought for many, many years. And yes, there is hazardous, and Lord knows what else. So if you're asking for somebody else to come and clean it up, it still has to be identified what's there to clean up. What's harmful, what's combustible. I mean, it's like, fire chief knows, just can't put it in a pile and burn it. I mean, it'd be 4th of July, every strike of a match, possibly. But also too, by having somebody else out to point fingers instead of pointing at you and you and you, it's pointing at everybody in the crowd. It's a team and as a committee to come up with the ideas, sort through, let the sand sift, and figure out the best way to address the who's going to do it, what's going to be done, what's needed, and time frame. Just a suggestion, because it's too big to handle on a motion and pass, because you need more hands and more people and more brains and not the personal, but you folks are busy. You got enough. So this here is a time bomb that needs to be discussed in depth. Just
Thanks,
suggest.
So do we want to look at it? Try to find a company, professional company, yeah. Price.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Do the city employees, public works, do they actually want to be down there cleaning up and putting themselves in this environment? There you go.
Not without defense. So,
I mean, if we can find somebody out there that still wants to do it, maybe that is the route to go instead of putting others in jeopardy as well, not knowing what we're dealing with going in. Obviously we've talked about some things of how their living conditions are and stuff like that too, but we're jumping
Not
in
much of an
somewhere that, but it was an option out there.
if we had access to it to walk it and see what's there, is that possible that we could walk it and identify like that, so we don't even know what's there? I don't know, the weeds are this tall, don't really know what's in there. And there may be some things that we can handle, if we knew what we were dealing with,
There is some things that we could pick up,
Sure.
but a lot of the things around that structure and everything
Right.
is in real bad shape.
Yeah.
And then you got vehicles, you got all that wood piled up,
Yeah.
piles of junk, like I said, refrigerators, coolers, it's just a lot of stuff.
So if they were to pick that stuff up and take it to the dump, would they be responsible for the dump fees and all of that?
This whole thing, whoever we hired or whoever we haven't done, we're going to go after them on a lien. And it said, the district judge even said that, the town will recollect its money, go after him.
So do they know that this is gonna happen? I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, we've been back and forth with, Prowski's attorney,
Okay,
Tom Sawyer.
okay.
So, yeah, he knows it's gonna happen. But, Mr. Roger,
I really want to also go back to what I was saying is like Janelle was talking about, and you were talking about filtering out and what have you. I think you need to have a community meeting on it. Because there's a lot of people that we're missing that are valuable in the community that can help us do this. And, take care of this issue. You don't want to send the city in there, in my opinion, unprotected, unbacked up and what have you, not just with the water hose from the fire engine. I mean, it's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get crazy. I'm not afraid to say it. It has in the past. I've lived by that thing for a couple of weeks now. And no changes. I get dirty looks for cleaning my yard up from them. you know? It's like, yes, you got the powers of the courts that are backing down and saying, clean it up. If you don't have a positive plan and directives outside of the U4 or 5, what I'm saying and what I really mean is have a meeting with input from the community, because you don't know who they know. They could have somebody that can just does this every day, and their neighbor could probably say, I didn't know you did that. But that's the positive pressure on it. And if we're worried about the city doing the job, it's no different than we're worried about Janelle and the mayor to do on their stuff, to have more time and less time to do what they need to be doing. Have a committee, president of the committee, treasurer, the whole 9 yards, and go forward and make it happen. Because before too long, it's gonna be snowing, and we're gonna go through this stuff again.
Councilmember
Are
Barton.
we setting on the time frame still? That was our biggest thing, was the time frame that we had in the courts. Is that correct?
No, the court didn't set us a time frame.
Just had start something within those 60 days, and
Okay.
which was good.
And we did Bible Motor right away. That was pretty much started the cleanup.
And I'm not eliminating the council or anybody, I'm just saying have a committee that can do all the groundwork and then bring it back to you. Because we all know you guys make a lot of money being council, we all know that. You know? But you don't have much time because you gotta work on everything else. But have a committee bring the powers to you, and then you can read the overview, just like a budget, yay, nay, move forward.
Is this committee formed?
No, that's what you're gonna do.
Was the council likely to form a committee then? To look into it?
Does any of the public sitting out here have any other suggestions for us?
Jeff?
I'm thinking what you're going to have to look for is somebody that will do a hazardous waste mitigation. Not just mitigation, but hazardous waste mitigation. Whole nother world. And it's gonna cost big time. And if we have to front that big time cost and then squeeze the turnip for the blood, it's gonna be a hard one, but that's what's gonna have to happen. I mean, the guy's been living up there without sewer and for how long? I mean,
30 years.
and we're gonna send volunteers up there, like, yeah, ain't gonna happen.
And Mr. Mountain makes a really good point. There's that upfront cost the town's still gonna have to cover, even if we go back and lien that property. That's a great idea. We can do that, but then those liens on those properties can sit for years.
Years,
Well, we do have a potential buyer on the property over there by the storage sheds where Ramona Vance is. In fact, she's proposed to buy that little strip there. And Councilmember Brown and I had talked about this. We were going to possibly, that'll be on the agenda to ask your approval to sell that little strip. And we were going to use that money for the abatement to help us. Every bit helps because we're strapped with money.
Have we sent them any bills so far on, and have we been paid so far anything?
On the abatement?
Yes.
No, the only thing we've been doing is the attorney fees. That's the only thing we've done.
Have we received any money for the attorney fees or anything that we've billed?
No, we haven't put out a lien on anything.
No, any
I
money
don't
coming
believe,
back?
Councilor Brown, that anything has been sent out to him in regards to Mr. Overstreet's charges. I don't believe so. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes. No, I do not believe so.
He makes a note when he bills us, as you know, and keep us above the farm.
Right.
Mhm.
Because we
Right.
can go back and get our recoup our money for that.
But if we're starting to incur costs, I think we should start sending their attorney that invoice monthly at least and try to get some of our money.
Jean's back at the end of the week. I will ask her about that for you.
The other thing is, I wish the attorney was here so we would know what our time frame is after we have filed a lien on the property. What the time frame is until we can take some action on it.
I can ask him.
And is that something that the police department's gonna have to deliver to him? I mean, is there gonna have to be police and sheriff's officers up there when all this is going on? For the protection of these guys? Is there anything crazy like that?
Actually, when the building official went through there and did a walkthrough, John went in there with him for a little bit, and Frank wasn't there. The attorney didn't even have him there, just the attorney was there, walked around with the building official. So,
Doesn't mean he won't be. Doesn't mean he won't be.
no, that's true, but we'll have somebody there.
Good.
You know, I like the idea that, Mr. Runner has with the committee, but how much time do we put into it? I mean, we've got to get it cleaned up.
Pat?
Calculate all the time that we've done and addressed this over the years, the threatening here and there, it's hundreds of hours. If the committee takes another 20 hours, it's 20 hours well taken. Because with the group of people, selected people, and people in the audience to discuss it and come up with ideas, it'll be a team effort. This thing's gone on way too long, way too long. It's a pile of rubbish. And so when you have finally a judge saying, the Supreme Court of Montana saying, clean it up and town responsibility, so to speak, right there give you carte blanche to make the wheels turn, to create an attack and get results and get a plan, and then worry about the cost as far as we don't know what we're bidding, we don't know what we're doing, and yeah, it's hazmat. You're absolutely correct, Chief. That, I mean, it's serious stuff. Nothing against each other, but I'm gonna just say it real, come on. Once we leave here tonight, it'll be another 2 weeks, if not 90 days before something's done and something directed, because you're all busy. You're all busy. We've got one hell of a town here of volunteers and committee and community that probably there's 5 people right off the bat that knows more about this than we do, and they're just laughing because saying, oh, they ain't gonna come and ask me. Put it out to the people and put it out, come help us clean up our mess. Because this is the town of Stevensville's mess because we've dropped the ball so many times over the past years. And I was afraid to go to this deal because I knew when nobody wants to bid it, it's like, I'm not getting in the middle of that because there's no structure, there's no guidance, there's no ideas, there's no discussion. It's just, what do we do? Oh, there's hazmat. Oh, shit. Oh, he's crazy. Oh, where's protection? Oh, shit. You know, excuse me, I shouldn't do that. Put it out there that we need help from selected, requested, educated, non-educated, Lego players, I don't know what you want to call them, but the people here in the town of Stevensville can do it. And present the package to you, the powers to be, to decide, dissect it, put, what was this for, what's this idea, explain this, and then make it happen. Because if that takes 90 days, it's 90 days well spent. But it will take 30 to 45 days, it's a knock out of the park. Sorry for being the
I think just go for it, see what happens.
Mhm.
It's the most we can do.
Are we going for the committee?
Just to put a committee together to see if we can put it out there, I guess. I don't know how to start with it. I don't know where we need to go.
I recommend Pat be the.
Absolutely. He wants to hear it.
So Mary, if you're just looking to do a committee, then we would just be able to put something on the town's website under the news section, looking for community members, professionals, to be in that sense, and then put that out on the website, looking for people to join the committee. I mean, that's, I think, probably the
But
best way to start.
I think we need to have it more than just somewhere on the website. I think it needs to be,
Put it in the paper?
I
We
think
do word of mouth.
I know it's gonna cost us extra money for it, but we're already putting money out for it as it is. So,
And also too, in your question of cost monies, what have you, Loey Knapp and Mel Cook have already taken thousands of dollars out of their pocket to start this lawsuit, start this job. So reimbursement is well doing their part if it's possible, but I'm just saying, there's already been out-of-pocket expenses that you can't look at because we can only look at the big picture of getting it cleaned up. So I thank you for thinking of it. Hopefully you motion to set committee forward. And in the next 2 weeks, you find all your members and be rocking and rolling.
That is
Obviously,
a
it's gonna have to
concern.
go on the agenda.
That is a concern because it seems like it's really hard to find people to volunteer to be on committees. So if we set a time frame to try to get the committee up and running, and if we don't, then I think we need to revisit this. Definitely.
Soon.
Soon,
Yeah.
sooner than,
Thank you.
Soon, sooner than better.
So to put an ad in the paper, just to give you an idea, I'd have to do it by noon on the 10th, and then it wouldn't hit the newspaper till the 12th.
Is there a possibility of putting a note on the water bills?
Those warrant bills already
The
gone out.
cards, now there's not as much
The next
space.
one, when is the next one due? Next one go out?
It won't go out till the end of June.
Oh,
And there's not as much space now that they're in the postcard style to be able to add multiple sentences to that. I mean, we could put something there, but of course, that's the end of June.
Jeff, do you have a suggestion?
So we're gonna advertise in the same means that we advertise for people to bid on this project. Nobody came forward. So we're gonna redo the same thing again and expect a different result. Then we're gonna get together in committee and try to move this forward. It seems to me, I mean, I just did a Google search in that chair. Hazardous waste disposal, Mountain State Environmental Services, boom, that's what they do. Click away. We have not, we being the council or government town, have not reached out to anybody to see if they would want to do this. We've just said, hey, if you want to volunteer to come and do this for pay, then step up. Well, nobody stepped up to volunteer for pay. Now we want a community to step up to volunteer for what? Because of the goodness of our hearts, because we can. I think that back to Janelle and Bob's thought, let's make some phone calls. Let's see who we can contact. Let's get some idea of what this thing is going to be and what it's going to take. Then if we have a committee, we can review what we've done, the due diligence of finding out some information and then move forward. That, I mean, I don't know, 5 minutes and I've got 4 different companies.
I had 2 call me back, which was great. I figured that,
So,
I got
I
2 phone
mean,
calls back.
I would think that'd be worth an hour or 2 hours worth of
That's
somebody's
what I started the
time to make some
conversation with that.
I
inquiries.
guess I just don't have the direction, I mean, it's, you
Well, I
brought
mean,
it up
I
with a
think,
good point. of
I
what-
think we established the direction of this is gonna be some type of a hazardous waste disposal cleanup. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's not a matter of trimming trees and mowing grass. We're way past that.
It is.
So, I mean, I just really think that, yeah, community's great, fine. We can ask for volunteers for the committee, but we need to get the ball rolling. And I think you get the ball rolling by making some phone calls and some inquiries to some of these companies, hey, what would it take for you to come do this? Get some professional input coming in versus neighbors getting together with their pitchforks and torches going, we need to do this. That'd be my thought.
mhm. Doing both.
The house across the street.
Go,
Councilmember
I
Barton.
guess go back from where we started out, is make those phone calls, see what we can get.
Have something on the next agenda meeting. Or, so we know how we're coming along on this and if
Okay.
we need to start forming a committee or something.
So you'd like to see something on the 13th meeting, is that correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, at least a response of what you've received via your reaching out to
Mhm.
the 2 of you.
And if we don't have anything, and then we'll form a committee. Go from there.
You can do both of these at the same time, both of these ideas at the same time, making phone calls and then thinking committee too.
Mhm.
But the phone calls may preclude it and go faster.
I think we have them both.
Do you have a motion?
We have a motion on
guys have a motion in a second? But then we changed our,
But we changed it,
Focus.
yeah. How about we have a motion to have the town make some phone calls, get some prices, to see what we come up with, and also look at forming a committee.
We still have a motion on the table though from the first.
Motion in a second. That was just to start the discussion. wasn't it?
Correct.
Do you want to retract that one then?
how did I word that?
Retract your motion for awarding a bid for abatement services. That opened the discussion. We have a motion in a second on that one. So if you retract that and then make a motion
I'd
to,
like to retract my motion for awarding the bid abatement services for the cleanup property located on 523 East Third Street, Stevensville, Montana.
we have a motion, do we have a second? We have a motion, we have a second. Discussion? Discussion from the public? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Counselor Parker?
Aye.
Counselor Brown?
Aye.
And Counselor Smith?
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Now, if you'd like to make a motion to have the town look, make some phone calls, see what we can come up with, and also look into forming a committee. Councilmember Parker.
Second. Okay, I'd like to make a motion for call of services for the abatement to outreach to companies and also form a committee to work on,
How to clean it up.
volunteer services.
We have a motion, do we have a second?
Yes.
So we have a motion, we have a second, we have a discussion by the council. Discussion by the public. Pat?
Question on your motion, you're saying volunteer services from the committee. Is that including cleaning up hazardous waste? There has to be a regulation on what the committee's gonna be doing. So that's why my suggestion is before you start making phone calls, form the
It's
committee.
gonna get messy, that's all I can.
It's gonna get messy no matter which way you
Every
go.
time I say something's gonna get messy.
May I still speak?
Yes.
Why don't you get the hazmat guys down here to take a look at it and let them tell us what we need to do? If we, try to get everybody involved in it, there's gonna be 50 different ideas, and we just need company to tell us, this is what we need to do. I mean, no offense,
No, I totally understand.
but you need a direction,
That's what the
need,
phone call is for.
yeah,
Right. For the phone call.
Any other comments from the public?
Do I need to retract that whole comment of the,
No, you're good.
okay?
Any more comments from the council? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Counselor Parker?
Aye.
Counselor Brown?
I want to make sure what we're voting on.
Making a motion for calling on services to companies and to form a committee to volunteer their services.
Services.
That's all I have.
But that's where I said, do I need to retract that, because it's, what type of services are we looking at? I mean,
Well, we don't know until we make the phone call.
but I don't wanna form a committee either and have a volunteer committee and then have it turn around and say, we can't have you doing these type of things without knowing prior to.
Do you want to wait on the committee then?
I think we really just need to do the motion of calling for services of the abatement for right now. And then at the next meeting, I know it's putting it back out there, but we need to know what's in there first before we put it out there to our community, community.
I agree.
I know that
Just amend it with the committees out.
I did, I just made the motion for call of services on the abatement.
Great.
I just feel that, yes, it's been a long time going, but we need to know, we need to figure it out before we put it out there. We can have that on the next meeting, which is only a week away, stating that we want it, once we get the calls in, then we can figure out what the committee's going to do and where they're actually able to go in and what they can do. Or maybe they can't at all, we don't know that,
We don't know.
so.
Great.
So the motion on the floor is with the
Committee,
committee.
so we need to retract.
I'd like to amend my motion to make it to make call on services for the abatement with taking community volunteers out of that.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion, we have a second. Comments from the public? Further comments from the council? Seeing none, Janelle, would you take the vote?
Councilor Barker,
Aye.
Councilor Brown,
Aye.
and Councilor Smith.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0. Thank you. Item number C, discussion decision allocating funds for storm cleanup. As you know, we had a pretty wicked snowstorm here a couple of weeks ago. It knocked a bunch of trees down all over town. It got to the point where people, even though it was in their own property, they were dragging it to the street. So now we don't know what we're picking up, but after talking with George Thomas and Steve, George said they had a couple storms like this in the past, and he said it took a little longer, but Public Works cleaned it up. And I think, in fact, today, I took my pickup and I took a trailer and I got 5 loads in 3 hours. So it can be done. I think Public Works can do it, and I think if the 2 junior men, Matt and Jeff, want to work a little overtime, fine, get it cleaned up. Be a little cheaper than having the older guys that make more money do it. The junior guys can make a little overtime money since the older guys get the on call and stuff. I've already asked Jeff if he wants to work a Saturday, so he's willing to do it. To get it cleaned up quicker. So, would that work for you guys? Okay, then I don't think we need a discussion decision then. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
I have a question on that. How come we can't just open the dump up for the public to bring their own things and stuff down?
They don't allow them.
Is that notified, that people know that it's available?
We're
Probably
telling
get-
everybody.
We probably get 35 plus calls a day
Yep.
at town hall.
Tell everyone.
And then if they're able to, we give them permission through Stephen to come down.
I think the key point is able to. I mean, we have able-bodied people that are letting our people work overtime to pick up their branches. I don't think our budget can afford that. I mean, my budget meetings that I've been to, it's cut, and now we're overtime paying for what reason? For property owners to get somebody to pick up their yard? I don't think that's right.
The problem we had was we had a unique storm. It knocked down branches on the boulevard, on the street, and then people started hauling them out of their yards on the street. And you don't know whose they are, whether they're ours, whether they're theirs. The point is they should be picked up. We have a responsibility to pick them up. If it takes longer, fine. There's a little overtime involved. That's fine, I think. I know we haven't allocated overtime from the last year's budget. We try to keep it way down at the budget cycle, money's tight. But, and that's how I see it. Jim?
It was my understanding that you had somebody lined up at $100 an hour for a company. Well, we have to pay for that. I mean, what's the difference between $100 an hour and paying you guys overtime? I mean,
$57 is what it would cost these 2 guys an hour versus the $100 an hour guy. $100 an hour guy would probably be faster.
Yeah.
But, these two guys do it,
But
it's $57, so they're just saying,
a lot of the public, and I hate to disagree with you, but a lot of the public didn't know that we could bring the branches down there. So if we can get that word out somehow, on the website, that dump is open to take these branches, only the branches, no other garbage.
stem things. Yeah, we could get the word out there, I suppose. We've been doing it one-on-one.
Actually, when they've been coming in town hall, we've been telling them the last week or so, haven't we, Janelle?
Yeah.
It's open. And you walking around and picking it up, I would say.
When I get time, I'll drive around and pick up branches too, so.
One quick note, and again, it's happened in the years past, gotta be careful on just carte blanche on letting, because we had people out of town dumping leaves, grass cuttings, everything else, and it was notorious, it was a mess. And so, I've had privileges, because I've asked many a times, I take my branches down and grass cuttings down, but I know for a fact, if I make a mess, they got a laser on my head from right before I get to the gate, and I'm fine with that. But we have to be careful on that part to where, I don't know, it really brings back memories. Every time you make a suggestion, you get shot down because you got 15 other appointments. But it'll work if it's structured right, and I believe it will be. And the trees are in the boulevards. Well, yeah, it's not, we're supposed to maintain the boulevard, but the trees are owned by the town. And, it's thankful that they're beautiful and they're everything there and they need trimmed. I trim mine, yours, whatever, it doesn't matter. It goes both ways, so many different ways. And it just always gets gobbled up of, they should clean their own crap up. Well, some of them can't.
Exactly. And this storm brought out a lot of things, and one of the things it brought out was trees and a tree board. We haven't had a tree board forever. So we've got trees that are dying. We've had phone calls now, people calling, we need this tree cut down or that tree cut down over here on College. So Steve and I went over there this morning and looked at them, and that's probably, what, Steve, 12 grand?
Oh, yeah, they're huge.
Those are huge trees. I mean, yeah, they're dying. What do? We don't have that kind of money. We got it on 3rd Street over by Pat's. It's going over the 3rd Street of the branches there. I mean,
Yeah, this is snowballed into more than what, just a storm was.
it comes down to money, sadly. That's what it does. And right now, we don't have that in the budget to go around and start cutting trees down or even do a bunch of limb trimming. It's not there. It's we created during the budget cycle this time. Put $10,000 in or something for tree cleanup, tree pruning. It's a suggestion.
I did put that exact amount in my new budget paperwork. I think it should be 15 to 20, but we gotta get what we can get, but, and just use it until it's gone.
Would there be an issue for me? I volunteer to do this, ask some of the churches to help. Give volunteers.
No, go for it. We'll take any volunteer we can. It's quicker, the sooner we get it cleaned up.
Mhm.
There's your committee.
Now, the election's over, the politicians can come help.
No, get it before the election.
Before the next one?
So if you're fine with it, I'll just have, like, tomorrow, right, your whole crew's gonna do?
Yeah, we're gonna hit it hard tomorrow.
Because they got the pool about done, filled up, splash pad's about ready to go. That was a priority, the lawns are mowed. So once that's all caught up, Public Works can do branches.
Hopefully we can commit at least 1 day to 2 a week until we can get it. There's a lot to do right now,
Yeah. There was a lot there. It's the most I've ever seen in East Town.
and there's 70 some piles out there. So.
And I probably should even put it on her to get it, but I rushed a judgment on it because I wanted it cleaned up, because I'm in this big cleanup mode around town. See all these branches and stuff. But we'll get there. Okay. Item number 5, town council comments.
None that's already been made.
I don't have anything on the executive report either. So if there's anything else, we have a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
We have a motion, do we have a second? A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Do you know how the voice replacements are going to happen?
Yeah. Are your kids?
Tim's in, Canyon Lake, Iowa.
Oh, okay.
And Courtney's here.
I miss you.
Bushes.
I'm glad you got your-
Sewer.